Stormy Monday. This is a good tasting drink. Strymon, like and subscribe. Drunk Pedal Show.
Exactly. That'll help.
Yeah, that'll help. But I'm gonna keep bashing my head against this fucking wall.
Welcome to Drunk Pedal Show with Matt and Ira. I'm Matt and this is Ira. And today we have the Flint Strymon pedal, which is a reverb and tremolo. It's a combination of those two things, and so we thought it would be appropriate to drink Dark and Stormy's. It's dark rum and ginger beer. It's very simple, so even with our terrible mixology, we can make it happen. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on our pairing?
It's a dark and stormy pedal, so that's what we're gonna drink. We're gonna drink Dark and Stormy's. We have a beautiful Havana Club Añejo Clásico Puerto Rican rum. And this one goes out to all my Boricuas, my beautiful wife, also Puerto Rican.
I tried a bunch of places that I thought would have ginger beer because it was in Alphabet City, and I thought it would be hipstery enough. But I had to go to the Whole Foods, and we got, Powell and Mahoney craft cocktail mixers, original ginger beer.
It's a very photogenic can, too. I don't know if you can make out all the cool details. It's a beautiful looking can.
And then, because it said, like a lime or lime juice, we were in Whole Foods, so the only option was 365 organic 100% lime juice, not from concentrate.
This is an incredibly photogenic drink.
I don't know why this Wikipedia entry is in centiliters. Maybe because the rest of the world uses metric. But other than that, so it's 6 centiliters of dark rum and 10 of ginger beer. So I'm going to just say that's like a 2 to 3, right? Yeah, you get it. We're going to eyeball it anyway. So making a mess with terrible mixology.
Terrible mixology. This is going to be a delicious drink for a delicious pedal. Wow, this looks really good. Reverb and Tremolo have been hanging out with each other, God, for almost as long as the electric guitar, no?
The lime juice made it a little stormier.
Ooh.
It was a
wow,
little
this
stormy.
Almost looks like, oh, wow, I wish you could see this because it's almost like stop motion footage.
Yeah.
I'll hold it up in front of my face.
First, Dark and Stormy.
Dark and Stormy. Stormy Monday. It happens to be a Tuesday, but
it's good that we got the ginger beer because it's really got that bite to it.
This is good.
That ginger ale doesn't have.
This is good.
So that's a definite difference. It's going to go downhill fast.
I gotta really be careful about the ones that taste good because the drinks that taste good, you drink them too fast and too much at once, too fast.
This is running into the front of the Mesa Mark 525, the 1x12 Vintage 30. Mike is an SM7. And later on when we're jamming, the other amp will be the Fender Mr. Blues Jr. III, also with an SM7.
I am playing my 2015 Les Paul Traditional, and I am plugged into Mr. Blues Jr. III, going straight in, and my own reverb is on 3 for when we're jamming.
Let me dry out the Mesa. Completely dry. Unlike us in about 5 minutes.
That's all right. Cheers on that. Disclaimer as always, just don't hurt yourself drinking, all right? And if
don't hurt nobody else neither.
And if you're not legal, don't do it, or at least don't make a big deal out of it.
Just play guitar along. You can play guitar at any age.
That's true. That's a good drink.
You can always, if there's a little bit of lime, you're like, or not, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But I can handle a little bit of lime or whatever, but as long as it's like liquor and another liquid that's not the liquor. Or sometimes liquor and another liquor. Those kind of drinks, I can consistently pour, no problem.
Then I just let the liquor do the thinking. Wow, this is actually much better. Here, do a glasses clink because this is a good tasting drink. Dark and Stormy. This is a loaner pedal from a dear friend of ours.
We gotta mention there's no box this time.
That's what I'm getting.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. All right.
That's the painful thing that I'm leading up to.
Gotcha.
This is a loaner pedal.
Fool doesn't keep his boxes.
It's a loaner, and that's what I'm gonna say. This is a loaner pedal. There is no box. There's no box for this one. So you can't can't blame them. A lot of people don't give a shit. They're not playing the box.
I don't have any of my boxes.
Nobody cares about, nobody cares. You got to be mildly OCD so he was kind enough to loan us this very expensive, beautiful pedal. Strymon pedals are not cheap. Strymon pedals,
they're up there. They're one of the fancier.
I think our very first comment was, can you please review some Strymon pedals? A Strymon pedal. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that was our like very first comment. So here's to you, Strymon fans.
Like and subscribe. Comment with other suggestions for pedals and drinks.
Strymon, like and subscribe. Drunk Pedal Show, like and subscribe. The Strymon Flint is a dual channel harmonic, tremolo, and reverb. It's got 3 varieties of reverb and 3 varieties of tremolo. The first variety of tremolo is a 61 harmonic dual filter tremolo. And here we go. Means cheers. Yeah, cheers. Next up, the next variety of tremolo we have is the 63 power tube tremolo. And this one's meant to sound kind of swampy. This is a...
Classic sound.
That's with no reverb, nothing helping it out. Flat amplifier, few simple chords, and this is beautiful. Now, next up, we have the 65 photo cell tremolo. And this one can be described as sharp and balanced, like Fox News. That's fair and balanced. That's beautiful. Now, we're going to flip to the reverb side. I'm going to put the reverb totally at 12 o'clock just as a starting point. Now, the 60s reverb is based on a 2-spring tank reverb. In other words, 2 physical springs. And the decay can make the length of the springs themselves, the virtual springs themselves, longer or shorter. So that's
virtual springs.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So this is the 60s 2-spring reverb tank.
Good stuff.
That is good stuff. That is good stuff. Yeah.
It's not that dark, but it is kind of stormy.
It's people won't be able to appreciate how cool these things look in real life. Now we're gonna go for the 70s solid state electronic plate reverb. Let's go for that one.
Do you want to like tweak around the settings a little bit?
Yeah. Decay.
So, you know, if you're playing jazz in a Starbucks.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good.
I saw Steve Lukather at the NAMM show.
The fuck? You didn't even tell me that.
Well, I didn't like talk to him or anything because like
you just want to spring that on me right now.
There was basically a line of people to talk to him.
Turn it off. Turn it off. I want to. Yeah, we got to discuss something.
Right.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Come back in a minute.
Weird,
Right, and I was like,
know.
that was the thing. I got nothing to say to him that wouldn't be weird. I loved you in Yacht Rock. Like, I wasn't in Yacht. Well, okay, so
What the fuck is this?
exactly.
I'm letting the Dark and Stormy take hold.
Bill Burr was at the L.A. Meshuggah show I went to last week.
My favorite stand-up comic, Bill Burr. I hope
It was his first time seeing Meshuggah, and he had like the exact experience you're supposed to have, which is he had heard Meshuggah on album and been like, yeah, I don't know. I'll show you the thing. I don't want to ruin it.
I think it was.
I think his drum teacher took him, and he
Bill Burr
basically
is a drummer.
describes
He's a drummer, yeah.
what you're supposed to experience when you see Meshuggah live, which is that it was like you don't even like if you've heard the album, you've been like, I don't know, maybe, but like you're on the fence. Go see him live. It's a whole different experience, and it will change you as a person. and he basically describes that exact experience, and I was like, there it is. Bill Burr has seen the light. You will have a borderline religious experience. I basically like convinced Jamie. So like next time they come to New York, I'm gonna be like, guys, we gotta get a group together, go see the Meshuggah, because it is next level.
And in spite of myself, it was. If you want to refer back to the first Drunk Pedal show,
yeah, we already have a good Meshuggah story.
I have met the entire band Meshuggah in spite of myself, and
Oh, that doesn't sound right at all. Oh, no.
it sounds more like surf rock.
Right?
The last almost made it through the hardcore shit. All right.
I'll make it through.
So 80s. Here we go. Today we're going to be doing the Strymon Flint. Okay, this is the 80s rack mount hall reverb, and they call this one. Now, if you watch any of the videos on the Strymon Flint, for some reason they get through the 60s and 70s, and then they call the 80s one nostalgic, even though it's the most current of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So they call this one the nostalgic rack mount hall reverb. So here's,
I mean, the 80s is the hot new thing.
Let's get into police territory. See, I want to crank the knobs, but you don't need that much to get a really kind of pleasing. I'm gonna darken it up a bit. These Dark and Stormies are making me want to play Dark and Stormy shit. Dark and Stormy, take two.
Dark and Stormy, take two.
What does it look like? It looks like, what is it? It's like a frozen in time kind of effect.
I mean, it's
like,
stormy. It's not as dark as I expected, but it is stormy.
It is stormy, yeah. There's like bubbles, but the bubbles don't like do that creep up the glass. They just are there. They're just frozen there.
I thought the lime juice made it look more stormy than anything else, actually.
Yeah.
But
now this will blow your mind. The Strymon Flint has secondary functions. The Strymon Flint has 4 secondary functions by holding both buttons down.
What's it supposed to do?
Well, I guess I can. We got the GoPro. I can use it. All right. So the intensity knob is supposed to be a trem, boost, and cut in the secondary function. The speed knob is supposed to be a tap subdivision. In the secondary functions, the speed knob is a tap subdivision. The decay knob in secondary function deals with the order of effect, where you can have the tremolo going into the reverb, or you can have the reverb going into the tremolo, which gives a different sound. The color stays as it is. The mix knob becomes a reverb, boost, and cut function. So those are the 4 secondary functions that you can get with the Strymon Flint. The Strymon Flint, in addition, has tap tempo, or you can use an expression pedal. It's got an expression pedal input to control. When you use the expression pedal, it can control all the parameters of the pedal. Now I'm talking about the tremolos, right here. The 61 tremolo, the harmonic. Fuck. This. Let me have a drink.
That'll help.
Yeah, that'll help. That's what this show's about. Because why else are you watching this show? All right, I'm just gonna hold the drink. Now everywhere. Now just hit a big chord. The Strymon people and everybody keep talking about how the speed that you can achieve with the Strymon Flint is actually slower than what you could achieve with the old amps. So that's an interesting point. On any of the tremolos, the speed knob being at the lowest setting is slower than what you could get with all of the other tremolos in the past. Being the real tremolos on the amplifiers. Yeah. I'm about to get wrecked off of this, dude. These are good. It's the fucking drinks that taste good that are so dangerous, dude. Because if they taste good, it's like, fuck the alcohol. It tastes really good. And then I'm outside on the street with people like looming over me going, "Mister, you okay? You okay?"
Shit. Yeah, man, I'm on YouTube. It's all good. It's all good.
And I think I'm saying I'm fine, but I'm really saying
I'm just you're really just YouTube. It's on YouTube. And they're like, "What are you talking about? What's on YouTube,
Mister, are you
sir?"
okay?
It's on YouTube.
I could have been on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube. Did you know I'm on YouTube? Let's
all right.
So
Continue.
Go through the other modes so we can get to both of them.
I'm having fun
because I actually like it best when it's both.
Yeah. Okay.
It actually realizing I was like, so we started this when I was like tremolo and reverb. What's that about? But now I'm like,
yeah, I want to hear them.
Where's the reverb? I hear the tremolo, but
right,
when you got them
focus,
together, it's like it actually makes sense.
Now,
I think tremolo without reverb may be a fucking waste of everybody's time.
All right. Now we're moving on. Matt is playing the 63 tremolo setting, which is based on power tubes of the amplifier, which uses an LFO to change the tube bias.
Really?
Now, I really don't know what the fuck that means. If you ask me, well, what do you mean by that? I'm just going to repeat what I just said. It's that, like, ask me, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
It uses LFO to change the tube bias.
Oh, now I know what you mean.
And even if you didn't, ask me again. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
It uses LFO to change the tube bias. My woman would slap me in the face for just saying that because she was like...
I know what some of that means. Listen, you got to bias your tubes because if they're too right wing or too left wing, then you just got... No, it's not.
Do you want to make America great again or what?
Ooh, let's not. Ooh. And back to Guitar Land. What? It never happened. Nothing political ever happened. Oh.
I told my wife...
It's a crazy world out there, but at least we have our guitars and our pedals.
I told my wife that I'm going to be demoing the Strymon Flint, and she, you know what she said to me? She said, "Did you just swear at me?" Now, this says 65 photo on the pedal, but this style of optical trem was actually the most common mid-60s American tremolo. It was the most common trem. Fuck, cheers. I'm going to keep bashing my head against this fucking wall until I get it right. Mid-60s American amplifiers had this tremolo most commonly. That's what I want to say.
Well done.
And it worked off of light-dependent resistors in neon bulbs. At the most intense, when you play, and at the slowest setting, it'll go all the way up to absolutely quiet. At the furthest setting, that was a big thing to them. They wanted it to go from the highest point to absolutely quiet.
It's almost like a kill switch.
At the most intense, yeah.
Dude, it's like...
At the highest intensity. So say we have, I guess we were doing the 80s. So I'm going to cut on the reverb section just to let it go. That's extreme. It's almost like a volume swell. I think we got through all the informational stuff. Fuck, this drink is getting on top of me.
We gotta play some shit. Yeah, we gotta
jam
on some shit.
Except for that one. You want to do that?
You play the Blues Junior some, and I'll play the Mesa as the lead.
Okay. Dark and Stormy, Drunk Pedal Show. Like and subscribe. There is no box.
That'll be the thumbnail. I don't know what the fuck this one's about.
Hey, four.
Nice.